Hi, do you live in a place where it gets so cold that you don't really have the opportunity to let your space you reside in breathe during the winter time? Yeah, me too. Which is why I love doing a big deep clean during the springtime. So, that is what this video will be. We're going to be doing huge spring cleaning. I'm going to be getting rid of a bunch of stuff, decluttering, deep cleaning a lot of stuff that probably hasn't been touched in far too long. And we are also going to be reading a book or more, but for sure a book in this video. Bat Eater by Kylie Lee Baker. Are we reading this book solely because the specific cover has a spray bottle on it? Yes. I have a general idea about what this book is about, but let's just read the inside cover together, shall we? Cora Zeng is a crime scene cleaner, but the bloody messes don't bother her, not when she's already witnessed the most horrific possible thing, her sister being pushed in front of a train. But the killer was never caught, and Cora is still haunted by his last words, Bat Eater. These days, nobody can reach Cora, not her aunt who wants her to prepare for the Hungry Ghost Festival, not her weird colleagues, and especially not the slack-jawed shadow lurking around her doorframe. After all, it can't be real, can it? And so, yeah, we'll see what Bat Eater is all about while we do some deep spring cleaning. Let's get to it. My spring cleaning initially wasn't gonna include my bookshelves, but I've decided I do want to go through my shelves and just see if there's any books where their synopsis just doesn't sound like they're up my alley anymore or at all. Let's go through the bookshelves and see if there is anything worth unhauling. Okay, y'all, I might be a little cuckoo, crazy, delusional bananas going on over here. But while I'm doing my spring cleaning, I think I'm gonna be moving my bookcases to this wall right here. So currently my desk is facing the window, and this wall right here is where my bookcases used to be. But then I'm the type of person, I get bored easily, so I like to rearrange things as much as humanly possible. The reason I'm thinking of moving the bookcases over here is because the sun comes in and hits this wall. So I used to actually have my desk up against the wall, but then I would always get this gnarly glare on my monitors while I'm working, which is not It's not the move. So then for some reason I got the random itch to adjust my desk so I'm facing the windows. But then in the morning, I'm just getting blasted with the sun in my eye, which is all right. I mean, I can adjust the curtains or the shades accordingly so that I'm not getting blasted by the sun. I think a part of this deep spring cleaning is going to be moving all my stuff. I think I'm also I've been debating on getting a new desk for a while now, and I kind of want to get an L-shaped desk so that I can kind of have like my work station, but also have like a little side crafting station. Also, I want to get a standing desk. So we're looking at L-shaped computers that are also standing desks. Anyways, that's my random update. Oh, also I need to get new, I have a double monitor situation going on here. Currently, this is my setup. Love it so very much. However, this is as high as the monitors can go. So when I am sitting up at my tallest, like this is my eye line of sight, like these are my eyeballs, okay? These are my eyeballs right here. And I'm always kind of like looking down to see what's going on, and I'm just noticing that's kind of messing with my posture. So in a perfect ideal world, I am looking straight, so I need to get monitor stand that I can have more flexibility with adjusting, like because I can pull these out pretty well and like adjust them pretty well at this level. They just don't go any higher, so I need to find ones that go higher. Book, so you know what that means. I'm also sitting on the ground, so you also know we're gonna get interrupted a few times. I don't know about other people who make YouTube videos, but sometimes I just want to like switch up the angle, and today I was like, I don't know, sometimes I like chatting on the ground with y'all. My TV console, I feel is like a little slow. I feel like you guys are always looking at my nose anytime I set y'all there. Currently, you're sitting on a bar stool. While we are in the middle of spring cleaning, I am reading Bat Eater and Other Names for Cora Zeng. And so far I'm about 60 pages in, and it's interesting. It is a horror novel and is about this woman, Cora, who loses her sister in a tragic murder. And the murder happens in chapter 1. This is during literally the start of the pandemic. We start in April of 2020. Cora and her sister, Delilah, are just like having a normal-ish morning, going out hunting for toilet paper. And as they're waiting in the subway, because this takes place in New York City, someone literally comes up as the train is pulling into the station and pushes Delilah, and Delilah is no longer with us. I'll let you guess what happens. That scene, the explanation of Delilah's body. But other than that, like that's the only part so far that I've really had a visceral reaction. Actually, no. Another scene just happened where someone spit in Cora's face. Disgusting. Spitting in someone's face is like the most egregious thing you could ever do to another human being. I would rather someone come up and straight up punch me in the face than ever spit on. Oh, you spit on me, I'm swinging. I am swinging. Like, if you punch me in the face, I'd probably be like, what the fuck was that? You spit in my face? Nope. Nope. Game over, motherfucker. But yeah, this is an interesting book so far. I'm intrigued to see where we're going with it, because so far, Cora's sister has passed. And then after chapter 1, chapter 2, we're in August of 2020. And this is where Cora is now a crime scene cleaner. And we're like meeting Cora's family. Her dad lives in China. Oh, I forgot to mention that part. Cora is half Chinese and her sister Delilah was Chinese. When Delilah was pushed, the dude decided to call her a bat eater, which is why the theme of this book is bat eater. Because, you know, people are fucking ridiculous and racist. and prejudice. We all know people during the height of COVID-19 were blaming it all on Chinese people and just Asian people in general. It's like, okay, sure, Jan. I wouldn't say it's the underlying theme. I would honestly say that the racism towards Chinese people and Chinese American people in this book is like the theme, and I almost feel like the horror element is the quiet part. So yeah, we'll see where we get with this book. Good morning. It is currently 5:53 in the morning. Why did I wake up so early? I don't know. I had a lovely night of sleep though, to be so totally for real with you guys. Like, I've been struggling, like just sleeping all the way through the night, and last night I slept all the way through. And then I woke up around the same time that Chris usually leaves in the morning, and I was awake, and the girls were awake. So we took care of business, and now we're taking care of more business because I figured before work I can start cleaning. And today we are tackling our front closet, because that is a space that things kind of just get put and then they're just like left there and they're never touched unless they're a consistently used item. So I really want to go through the front closet to determine, okay, what do we actually need in here and what do we not? So let's get going. This is currently what we were working with. Oh my god, it's so empty, y'all. I didn't touch anything in this corner, mostly because I literally just like reorganized this little space right here, so I didn't really need to do anything to it. But I took pretty much everything off the top. The stuff that's still out is stuff that I need to go through. So dog stuff / random stuff, tool stuff. I want to put all these pictures up. We used to have them up at our old place and I just never put them up here. Some electronics, that pile of coats, that's a bag of clothes I'm already getting rid of, those snow pants, car cleaning stuff, a box of cables, and a shit ton of bandanas. Gotta go through all the bandanas. And my nose is running, so that's great. Look at all that snow. What are you doing, Pops? Just got off of work and my new standing desk arrived. With the new desk, as we discussed earlier, bookshelves are now going to be on this wall. Desk is going to be on this wall. So that literally means we have to change around the entire bedroom. I think we start with steps, clean up everything, take apart the bookshelves, and then we can set up the desk. I think I'm gonna start the bookshelves tonight and see how far we get. I don't think I'm setting up the desk tonight, but you never know. Let's get cracking. This desk will be disappearing, and I have a standing desk that's gonna be set up right schmear. This, I'm feeling it. I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed. Like, just the fact, y'all, that I can just like stand at my desk. I actually think I'm gonna leave this here. I don't know. We're gonna think about that one. I don't know if I'm gonna leave this here though. I don't know. I will say though, couple complaints. It did arrive. It's so annoying. It's so annoying. Cause like the bottom of the tabletop is pristine, but it has this one little nick right here, and it has this one little nick right here. This I know would annoy the crap out of me because it's like right here. I did message the company just being like, hey, just the tabletop is slightly damaged. Could I either get a replacement tabletop or just like a partial refund? I kind of hope they go the partial refund route, just because like I don't want to go through the hassle or effort of dropping off this giant ass tabletop. 9 times out of 10, like every item of furniture that has come into this apartment that I purchased while living in this apartment, I brought in myself. You know, I'm that woman. But this tabletop, I was like, Chris, I need your help. It wasn't heavy, it was just like big. And I just don't want to go through the hassle of returning it. 2 things I have decided. This bookshelf, I will be moving over in this corner next to these bookshelves, but I actually really like having the bed next to the bookshelves, and the TV sits on this bookshelf. And I actually really like this bookshelf next to the desk. This is staying over here. This is all gonna get pushed over a scotch once I move that. But yeah, I think that's the vibe. Put together. I've never had monitor arms that are like so flat box, if that makes sense. Like, I've never had to really put together my monitor arms. Granted, okay, I will note this is only my second set of monitor arms, but my first set was like bing bang boom, you're done. You literally just pull it out of the box and you mount your monitors to it and call it a day. This looks like it's gonna require a little bit more brain power than Kayla was thinking this morning, okay? First and foremost, this was such a pain to get on. Secondly, the most annoying part is that you have to unscrew this to be able to get into here. Third of all, do you see a problem? Do you see a problem? Do you see a problem? Because the problem is, this is supposed to be under here. What was I thinking? So, back to scrolling this down. Hey y'all, this was like a billion times easier to put together than I thought it would be. I think what was so daunting was, look at this, hold on. This right here, I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna have to use all these pieces. Okay, y'all, this is a vibe. One monitor up, another monitor to go. I am very excited. I don't know why. This is just like, it's energizing me. It's like actually nice outside, so I have my window open, so it's just like the spring breeze is coming through. Yeah, this was the rejuvenation my space needed for spring. I am about 30% of the way through Cora Zeng, no, Bat Eater and Other Names for Cora Zeng. I don't think I ever mentioned this, but my knee-jerk reaction to the way the story was being told is it felt very similar to The Eyes Are the Best Part. I would say it felt that way like in the first 3 chapters. Now that we're further in, it doesn't feel that way at all. And the reason it felt that way is because when it came to The Eyes Are the Best Part, there were only a few parts that really gave me like a visceral reaction to the descriptive horror elements. And this book, no. The horror elements are there have been a couple of times where I'm just like, can I keep going? It's getting pretty brutal, and I feel like it's only gonna get worse. I'm enjoying it so far, but yeah, that was kind of like my knee-jerk reaction to it. It was like, this feels very much like The Eyes Are the Best Part. Doesn't feel that way anymore. It's getting pretty spooky and scary and graphic. It's a wild ride so far, and I'm only 30% of the way into it. Oh, but one thing I did want to note is if you have a thing with eyeballs, I don't know if this is the book for you, which is like, I started to then compare it to The Eyes Are the Best Part because there's some pretty graphic, visceral descriptions of like eyeballs. So if you have an eyeball thing, this might not be the book for you. I reached out to the company that made the desk and I just let them know, I was like, hey, just so you know, like my tabletop arrived damaged. We all know the spiel. They're gonna send a replacement tabletop, so I'm at the point where I don't really want to do anything else with it. Like, I don't want to adjust anything to be perfect. I don't want to do any cable management. We're just taking it one day at a time. Usually a office rearrangement would take like a day, maybe 2, and it's going on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 4 days now. That way I'll need to get started because and sort which ones are going to be ready. So have crochet because, you know, I'll enjoy the least. I am willing, like more than willing for it to change my mind though. There are cases where books with a murder mystery have been. I have some thoughts. I have some feelings. I have some opinions about our main character, Cora Zeng. Oh my god. It's like a double-edged sword here, okay, y'all? I am such a different person than Miss Cora Zeng. I am so different. She is very paranoid, timid, inverted, not even introverted, just like, just keeps into herself. And a part of me, like, cannot stand her. Like, I can't stand her. But caveat to that, like, it adds to like the creepy atmosphere because of how paranoid she is, and
what her internal monologue is, it just like adds to that like creepy, suspenseful horror element. So I'm conflicted. I'm conflicted on how I feel about Cora, because a part of me wants to just like grab her by the collar and be like, ugh! And another part of me is like, but the atmosphere of it all. So I don't know how I feel about Miss Cora. I'm just intrigued to see where the storyline goes, because I'm just over halfway through, and what has happened thus far is Cora is actually, you know, interacting more with her coworkers, who are all crime scene cleaners. Her coworkers are Ife and Harvey. Harvey's dad owns the cleanup company, and Ife just works for it. So she's like starting to interact with them more. There's now a ghost in play. Oh my god, this ghost, y'all, so creepy. This ghost, I'm kind of digging more. I don't know, it's like so hit or miss if I like ghosts or not, but this ghost is like more of a corporeal being, and in previous works I haven't liked ghosts being corporeal beings. I like them to be more elusive and like just there, but this one is very much there, and yet I'm digging it. And there was one scene, oh my god, there was one scene, the creepiest scene of the book so far. I'm not going to give anything away from it, but the creepiest, if you read this book, you have to let me know if you also agree that the scene was creepy. Cora was cleaning the crypts of her aunt's church. If you read that scene, you have to let me know if you thought it was creepy, because oh my god, I thought it was so creepy. Yep. And then the eyeballs when she was at the doctor's, when she was at the eye doctor office. Nope. Nope. Other than that, after the crypt scene, it's been pretty chill horror graphic wise. Like, I haven't had any moments where I'm like, but that's just me personally. The eye doctor was like viscerally, like I was like turning it on myself going, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. The crypt scene was more just like, oh my fucking god kind of energy. I'm very curious where we're gonna go with this. That's where I'm at. I'm curious to see where things are going. But again, Cora, I like Ife more, but I also feel like Ife wouldn't be a good POV to have, because I think Cora's personality does lend well to the creepy atmosphere. But man, if this wasn't a horror book, best believe I probably would have DNF'd it by now. Okay, y'all. I'll let this finish. I have had my standing desk for well over a month at this point, and I have some thoughts, feelings, and opinions about this particular standing desk. First and foremost, I just want to get it right out of the way. I love having a standing desk. I didn't realize how lazy and lethargic I was getting while working. Sitting and sending emails, yes, I need to sit. I need to sit. But my job is getting more project oriented, so I don't know what it is, but my brain is able to focus and fixate on something when I'm standing a lot more than when I'm sitting. This has been a blessing in disguise when it comes to project productivity, whether it's project productivity for work or project productivity for YouTube videos or anything else I'm doing. Having a standing desk has been absolutely amazing, and I don't think I could ever go back to a desk that is stationary. Now, I do have some notes about this particular standing desk. First and foremost, we had that little hiccup where the top of the desk, like the actual desk tabletop, came damaged. I will note, I reached out to the company and they were so responsive, solved my issue. Literally the next week, I had a brand new tabletop that had no damage whatsoever. All I had to do was let them know it was damaged. They're like, hey, send us some pictures. I was like, here's the pictures. And they're like, dope, we'll send you your replacement. So easy. And they didn't even ask for the damaged tabletop back. Love it. So I also want to make that positive note because I do have a negative, and I don't know if this is standing desks in general or if it's this particular standing desk. I'm gonna say it's probably this particular or this general setup for a standing desk. It's a little wobbly. It gets a little shaky. Also, it doesn't help that my monitors are on monitor arms, so that also may be a problem. I got a new standing desk and new arms at the same time, so I don't know if the overall shakiness of my monitors is because of the desk or if it's because of the new monitor arms, or if it's just like a slight combination of both that can get frustrating when I'm actively working on something and I'm just like staring at a shaky monitor the whole time. Honestly, that's my only complaint so far. Again, I've had this desk for well over a month now, so the fact that that is my only complaint, I think is pretty good. I will note, next time we move, I will definitely be getting a different desk. Again, still getting a standing desk, but I think the main issue with why this is so shaky, it is a T-stand, and I think the T-stand just doesn't have enough stability for it, because the only point of contact really with the tabletop is that one center point. I think if I had one of the standing desks that have the 2 points of contacts, it would add a little bit more stability to the desk itself. But yeah, other than that, I have loved having a standing desk, and honestly, for the price point of this desk, a little bit of shakiness is the least of my concern. It does everything else you want. It has the digipad with the multiple settings. I literally love that function so much. Instead of having to sit here just holding it and waiting, I can just be like, here's my standing option, here's my sitting option, and here's just 2 additional options if I'm ever in like a position that's slightly higher or lower than my standard standing or sitting options. But so far, I have been loving this standing desk. Look at Bubba all snuggled up.
Yeah, you like the blanket.
I have 23 pages left in this book. A sliver, you could say, left of the book. I feel very conflicted about my feelings. And I wanted to tell you at this point in time why I feel conflicted. Because things might change, you know? You never know. And sometimes I feel like you need to check in when you're feeling a certain type of way. I feel conflicted because I feel like we're finally getting to the good part. And this is kind of just like, not even particularly to this book, but just any horror, thriller, mystery. I feel like they all have the same structure where like everything wraps up at the very, I mean, obviously everything wraps up at the very end, but I feel like you've spent all of this time building all this suspense. I'm like literally explaining this and being like, duh, Kayla. But you like spend all this time doing these side quests, building this suspense, leading us on, you know, you're edging us. And then I feel like it always happens that in like the last 3 chapters, it's like bing, bang, boom, and we're done. And sometimes I wish it was just spread out a little bit more. You know, it's like my same complaint when it comes to romance novels and they always have the 3rd act breakup. Like, I hate that. I literally hate that so much. And I feel like horrors and thrillers, oftentimes, like the last 3 chapters is when you get like everything just like snowballs into the summation of the book. And sometimes I wish we spent, you know, maybe like the last 1/3 of the book getting all those nitty gritty little details, because what's going on here is there have been a sequence of killings, and they all are very similar in the sense that it's Chinese women, and there's always bats left at the scene of the crime. They're crime scene cleaners, you know? They're starting to notice a trend going on here. And so with this trend that they're noticing, they start investigating the matter themselves. I feel like it's been like a weird situation where we have like them trying to solve this situation with all these Chinese women being killed. But then also there's Cora, who's being haunted by a ghost. So they spent so much time focusing on the ghost that it almost felt like when we were introduced the serial killer, one could say, I'm not sure if it's a serial killer yet. Seems like it might be a bigger group working. But I feel like we had this little nugget of information being like, they found a USB drive from a police officer. And they're like, great, we have this. But then all of a sudden we spent so much time working with the ghost that now we're at like the very end and we're finally delving back into like the serial killer aspect. And I don't know, I wish like it had been balanced better. I wish like it hadn't been so ghost heavy, because we know how Kayla feels about paranormal events, especially once like the crime scene or not the crime scene, like the serial killer crime investigation element started to come into play. I was like, ooh, this is interesting, I love this. But then we like dissipated from that and went back to the ghost, and I was like, I feel like I just went on a crazy wild crime scene map of a tangent there. And long story short, I just wish there was more balance between the ghost and the crime investigation, because I am really interested in knowing who's killing all these Chinese women. I'm invested in that. To be frank, don't really care about the ghost. I think it's an interesting element, and I think I know where the ghost element is going, because there have been a couple moments where I've been like, oh, with the ghost. But I feel like I would be more invested in the investigation of the crime. I have an idea of where this is going, though, and I won't let you guys know if I won't let you know my idea, but I'll let you know if I was right, even though I'm not telling you what my idea is, because I don't want to spoil any. I feel like I've been trying to be good at not spoiling books, because I know some people don't like when you spoil books. Anyways, I'm gonna finish this book and then I'll check in with you guys and let you know my thoughts, feelings, opinions, and all that jazz. I keep forgetting that I have a Kindle. Like, my Kindle always gets tucked away under something. It's always stuck in a pile somewhere. And I decided to just set it up. I think I'm just gonna leave my Kindle on display so I remember to actually use it, or that I actually have it, because again, it usually just sits stuck in a pile somewhere. Did this end exactly how I thought it would end? No, but it did. It like did and it didn't. Okay. We actually got like a nice little bow. Everything ended as good as a horror book can end. I feel like there was a little teaser at the end of like, oh shit. But I didn't feel that oh shit. So if you read this book and if the very ending left you with oh shit, let me know. Because for me, I'm like, I feel like I should be feeling this way, but also at the same time, I don't know, it just seemed like a peaceful ending, all things considered. If you want the footnotes, the Cliff Notes version of kind of what ended up happening, corrupt government. That's all you need to know. Corrupt government was the big bad wolf in this book. I did run it through my rating tracker and it ended with a 4.33, so I just rounded up to a 4.5. The one things I just didn't quite like about it was the resolution, and pretty much the reason why my resolution enjoyment notes were just like a little lower than everything else was honestly what I noted earlier. That's like my biggest complaint about this book. Otherwise, I absolutely loved it. I mean, it's 4.5. You can't get much better than that. But I always like noting why things aren't like perfect. I don't know. I'm also just a big hater. I'm big time petty. I don't know if you guys have noticed this, if you've watched my videos for a while, or if you're new here, hey, hello, welcome, subscribe to the channel. Yeah, I just feel like every time I'm talking about a book or anything, I always highlight the things I don't like about it. I don't know, maybe it's just me drinking all the haterade. And then when I really do like a book, I feel like I'm just like, oh my god, it was amazing, I loved it. But I can never actually like put into words why I liked a book so much. So if you've noticed that from my book reviews, let me know. Let me know in the comments down below if you like that fact about how I speak towards books. Or if you think I should be more optimistic about books. I'm open to critique and criticism. Just be nice about it, you know? Constructive criticism is what I like. And my biggest complaint is that the crime scene investigation, serial killer investigation, I just wish there was more of that, you know? I when I read the synopsis of them being crime scene cleaners, I was like, ooh, we're gonna get some CSI stuff going on here. And it went more down the paranormal route, which, I mean, if you like paranormal, right here. This right here. It was also really cool to get like I don't want to say lore, but like the details of how the Chinese view the afterlife and ghosts and stuff like that. So I thought that was really interesting and fascinating, and I love learning those cultural tidbits. I think I liked it more because it had an element to paranormal activities that I didn't know much about. So it was so fascinating to learn how to like get rid of ghosts and how ghosts interacted with people. And again, there were some like, oh shit moments when it came to the ghosts, but I feel like I'm just at this point harping on the same topic. So I'm just going to end it with that. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. I realized this ended up turning into a Kayla reorganizing her office space and not necessarily spring cleaning, but I hope y'all enjoyed those tidbits when they were here. And just for a final review, this is what my space looks like as of today, the beginning of May. But yeah, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. As we all know, I like to switch things up all the time, so we might be in a completely different location in a month. Who knows? Not me. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today, y'all, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.